Something amazing is about to happen. We are about to save some time and money fixing the wiring on this guitar, which can only be done through the F hole, which is time consuming and expensive. But we are going to use some modern technology to make our lives easier. I'm sure you want to see this one, so just keep watching.
Oh man, I just realized what time it was. And that's AM. Yeah, I just came back from the shop and I said, yeah, let me just make a quick edit for you. And looked at the time and uh, speaking of time, there's an old Chinese proverb that says, time is money. And that's what we're going to talk about today. But I'm not going to talk too much here because time is money. I'm just going to take you over to the shop and I'll talk as I work. All right. So welcome back to Guitar Quackery. Let's hop over and talk as I work.
It's always a good idea to try to save time and money. Obviously, technician's time is valuable because I'd rather be working on another guitar than spending too much time on one guitar. And if I spend less time on one guitar, I can save the customer some money because money is also valuable, I think, to the customer, although I don't really know why, but that's what they tell me. Here's the guitar. The problem was that these components were loose, and the output jack as well. And they were loose for many years. So every time you turn the knob, if the component is loose, you also turn the potentiometer internally, and that can fatigue the solder connections to the lead wires, and then you can have unreliable connections, right? So, although you can simply tighten these components using a spanner wrench, go underneath the knob and hold the knob counterclockwise and just move this clockwise, which grips the ring nut underneath. You actually don't know if there's a problem inside. So the proper repair on a hollow body, or this is actually a semi-hollow, would be to pull all the components out through the F-holes first, inspect the solder joints first, resolder if needed, put them back in, and then tighten. Same with the output jack, which is used every single time that the guitar is played. If it moves every single time, you might have an unreliable output jack that can fail anytime, like in the middle of a gig, right? So I was able to save some time and money with this little gadget, which is an endoscope. Simply was able to inspect all the solder joints and decide if they need to be resoldered. Here's my screen right over here, and I can see. So this is a potentiometer, and as I move the endoscope, I can even make a recording like this. As I move the endoscope inside, I can really inspect all the solder joints. So this here is this potentiometer here, volume pot for the neck pickup. I can move over to the other potentiometer, which is a volume pot for the bridge pickup. It takes a little time to get used to doing it this way, but you can clearly see everything inside and do an inspection. Here I can see clearly how everything is soldered. Now, as you can see, pushback wire was used, and it was soldered onto the actual shell of the potentiometer. So that's solid. So even if the potentiometer moved, it actually did not damage the connection to the signal connection, right? in this particular case. But it really depends what kind of wires we use and how it was wired. I can even switch my view if I push this button here. And now I'll be able to inspect the output jack, which is right there. All right. Why don't I grab an output, a cable, and let me reposition it properly. There we have it. And now when I put the cable inside, we can see how everything works. We can inspect the connections. Now, I'm really not crazy about this lead wire passing through here, but it does have a shield, so there's not going to be any kind of shorting out happening. But in order to fix this, I would have to do more work. Okay, so switching back to this view, I can, complete my inspection of all of the components. Now we're looking at the tone pot for the bridge pickup. Let me take it out and go in the other direction. And that's going to be our tone pot for the neck pickup. All right. So, I think you get the idea. So once I was able to inspect everything properly, simply what I did was what I would have done without the inspection, right? I would have done just this, just tighten these. But with the inspection, I actually know that everything is functioning properly. So that being said, I was able to significantly reduce the time spent on doing this part of the service, and also significantly reduce the cost for the customer, which is kind of good for the customer. It kind of sucks for me, but well.
And there you have it. So, a couple of years... sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you as you're clicking the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Thank you for supporting this channel. Oh, and if you want to support this channel further, you can also click some other links below, like the one that says, buy me a coffee. Thank you very much. So, as I was saying, a couple of years ago, I made a video on Gibson tone pots and how they actually work. Well, it's not just about Gibson tone pots, but I use the Gibson guitar. But they don't work exactly the way most people think they do. So you should definitely check out that old video. Other than that, man, it's really late. So I'm going to have to go. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Guitar quackery? Man, do you know what time it is? Come on. The guitars can wait. Huh? Good night.